Good morning. Here we are, a beautiful sunny but cool Friday morning. And here we are taking the steps into this journey to create our ancestral grimoire. We've gone from the introduction of the book and the project to now taking those first steps. Now, I have been reading my way through part 1, and this is probably only going to be a very short video because we're just going in to choosing an ancestor to work with. Now, I haven't completed reading through part 1, but I have read up to and up to the start of chapter 3. So I am a bit of a devil, as I've said before, that I do tend to write in my books and work out, put my own notes in and keywords and break things down if I'm not sure of them, or even add a little bit to it that I feel I could add for myself. So first of all, we chose 2 decks to work with, and they were the Universal Celtic Tarot and the Tarot of the Abyss. For this activity, we've gone through initially in that in the introductory video on the tools that we will need, and now we're getting started. So we're settling into our ancestral realm. We've sort of read this first part to, well, I've read this first part here to sort of give me the guiding steps on what I have to do next, and we're about to begin. So to begin this, what I need to do is to choose an ancestor to work with me on a particular intention. So prior to that, we have to make our space welcoming. We have to protect ourselves because we're working with spirit, and that in itself can be something that could go a little bit awry if you're not careful. So for me, and this is what I do. It's my own little ritual. People say you don't need rituals. People don't, but I like having rituals. I also feel protected using my rituals. So I have just carried out a small meditation where I ground myself, I balance all my chakras, I then envisage sort of the chakra colours and a bright white light within those chakra colours, protecting me almost like a dome. And then once I feel comfortable and protected and grounded, I then invite in people that I think will protect me. So, somebody to stop anything negative come through, any angels if you believe in angels, anything that you feel will help you. For me, it's my spirit guides, my past loved ones, my ancestors, and any great being, the ascended masters, and I add angels and anything there. I cover all bases, shall I say, just to stay safe. So I've written a little piece out that's for me as to what I'm asking them to do, which is inviting them all in and then asking them to keep me safe during my ancestral work and any spirit work I do with spirits now and in the future. Any work I undertake outside of that they're always there to protect me and to assist me in making them proud in the work I do and giving them the will to want to be there to help and guide. So I did that in my own words and have now carried that out. I have my candles lit here on my table and on my altar over there. I have taken the 2 tarot decks that I am using and I have split them into 3 piles. The first pile is the major arcana. The second pile, all the court cards. And the third pile are all the minor arcana. Going to the next step, now that I have them split up like that, I now want to find out who wants to work with me. So I've set my intention, and an example from the book is I invite an ancestor who can help me with my health issues, or I would like to speak with an ancestor who can help me letting go of grief surrounding an ex, that sort of thing. So I have made mine personal. I've invited my ancestor in, and now we're going to look at a card. So Once you have a clear intention, shuffle the 16 court cards. So for this one, I'm just using the first deck I chose, which was the Universal Celtic, because otherwise that's giving me 2 ancestors, and right now I just want to work with the one. I don't want to complicate things. So I have my courts here. I have to shuffle them. When I feel that the energy is right, I then fan them out in front of me. Move your left hand. Oops, did I drop one? So once you have a clear intention, shuffle the 16 court cards, move your left hand, fan them out in front of you, and then move your left hand over the cards and pause when you feel a tingle in the palm of your hand as it passes over one of the cards. Turn that card face up. This is the first look at an ancestor. Okay, so let's have a look. That's right. So I fan them out in front of me. I'm using my left hand. And wow. I'm using my left hand to sweep back and forth across the 16 cards, but instantly going my first swoop round. Oh, there, that's the card. Is it that one or that one? So it's one of those two. They're a bit close together, so I'm just going to separate those. It's this one here. It's the Knight of Pentacles. It's the one that dropped on the floor. Oh my goodness. Well, I apologise for ignoring you the first time you drew yourself to my attention. So the Knight of Pentacles, the topic that I have asked for guidance and help on, the intention, would probably fall in under the Pentacle umbrella. And I'm Welsh, and the symbol of our flag, for our country, is the Welsh dragon, and you'll see this dragon throughout my home, or dragons, even down to my dragon tattoo on my spine. And if you look here, this, I don't know if it's just me looking for symbols or if it's something standing out, but the symbol in that field, although it's like crop circle, so to speak, it also looks like the cursive letter E, which is me, Elaine. Could there be somebody else in the past with an E? It really does look like a cursive E. If you were to go up, E, yeah, E, yeah, like that. Just trying to get back to front here. Round, E, E, and it curls. My favourite flower is the rose. Lots of red roses. My grey hair. So somebody who has a lot of similar traits to me, genetic traits, similar likes, possibly the same initial in their name. Imagine that. Is coming forward to work with me. Could be someone just saying, right, that's you. I'm going to work with you. I'm choosing you. And the fact that that is the card that I shuffled, and I said, oh, I didn't know if it was me, my clumsy shuffling, but I'll try again if this comes out. The cards were face down, and I picked it up. I really need to get a visualizer so that I can put it here and have the camera look down so that you can see what's going on here, because that to me has stunned me, blown me away. So our Knight of Pentacles would have the personality, the traits of somebody with energy, somebody on the go, somebody determined to get a job done, somebody who is happy to soar to reach for the stars, you know, feet on the ground and reaching for the stars. Take flight, as in taking off on a topic, on a subject, on an issue, and fly into battle if necessary. Somebody who is a little, not as overtly vocal, but who's not afraid to hold their own either. Let's have a look. So if I was to say, let me see, just to let you know what Nancy has said in this book, when we're looking at the Knight of Pentacles. So we know it's an earth element of earth. We know that it's sort of a it's Pentacles anyway, so it's the element of earth, but it's also the star sign Virgo. So do I know any Virgos? No, but this is ancestral. This is going back in time, so I wouldn't know anyway. This earthly knight is associated with her own sun sign of Virgo. He loves his home and his friends, is unbelievably loyal, and keeps everyone in order. Of all the knights, he's the only one who is not in motion. That's in an RWS deck. In this one, he is. Okay. Whereas the RWS, he sits on his horse looking over the land. He patiently takes things as they come and is practical in his approach to life, work and love. This one is doing that, is looking over his or her land, is taking stock of what there is, and is preparing to look after her land. Not if you look at the face, not actually scary, not going into battle as such, but going into battle to keep what's hers in line, in order. The shadow side of this knight can be slow to drive you nuts. If he's interested in something, he'll research until he's attained as much knowledge as a college professor. So what if you don't want to know about the love letters between John and Abigail Adams? He's going to tell you about them anyway. When it comes to his shadow side, unless you know him quite well, you may never see it, as he keeps his emotions under tight rein. Now, this is somebody, for me, it's too uncanny, all the little symbols I've picked out, and the fact that the cards come out a second time. The fact that it's a dragon, the fact that my favourite flower, the symbol of the letter E in the fields, the grey hair, the taking on a challenge, because that's what I have. I've taken on a challenge, or I do have a challenge, and it's a challenge that needs a little bit of assistance from somebody who's prepared to stand up and be counted, shall we say. And through this night clearly has, or this ancestor clearly has these attributes and the knowledge of the help I've asked for, and has stepped forward to say, Elaine, I'm here, and I'm rushing to your side to give you a hand. So I'm going to have to do some deeper research. Now let's go on to our next step. Quite exciting, isn't it? Now, the next step, we draw a card from the Major Arcana. This card represents the most important energy that your ancestor can share with you. Since you're going to be meeting several magical ancestors, knowing the energy that they worked with and now share with you is very important. So, what energy will this ancestor be sharing with me? Cards are going face down, and I'm spreading them out. A little bit more space needed. Just move those books there. Now I've just turned the camera so you can see that they are face down. So I'm just going to put my hand over them. See, oh, there's a little heat there. open in here today. So there's no heat in the room. Let's go back. We'll go back to this side again. Those two there. I'll tell you why. It's because I'm going to take those three for a second and find out which ones there have the strongest sort of vibe coming off them. Judgment. Once you've drawn your ancestor, which is your court card, draw a major arcana for their magical energy, the one they want to share with you. Make sure you write this down and that you understand the message before moving forward, as you'll be working with this ancestor in chapter 2. So we have that, so let's just make a note of that. This is my notebook and I'll put it into my grimoire because I like to make my notes first. So we've chosen the ancestor, which is the Knight of Pentacles. And we have their magic, energy, which is the Judgment card. I'm just going to write my intention over here was just star it. Okay. So that was my that bit there was my intention. This was my little bit of my act of protecting myself, and these are the cards I've drawn. Now let's have a look. Right, so our knight we know is quite determined, and judgment. I'm just going to lift you back up here so you can see that's the ancestor we're working with. This is the card, the energy. So now we know we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and the magic that the Knight of Pentacles is bringing with us is judgment. So what do we know about the Knight of Pentacles? There's too many symbols on there for it not to be right. The Knight deals with a lot of material sort of aspects of our lives, and that is one area that, you know, like sorting out finances, being more in control, being more sensible, that sort of thing. The judgment, the magic and the energy that this knight brings with it, or this ancestor, I keep referring to the ancestor, I'm talking about the knight. It's the knight is the card is representing that ancestor's sort of personality type, okay? And their attributes, their magic or their gifts and talents is judgment, making the right choices, making the right decisions, making sure that what I opt to do, listening to my my own intuition, and just quietly listening to what my ancestor is telling me, whether it be using a tool such as the tarot cards, or sitting with that card, looking at it and closing my eyes in a small meditation and seeing what comes to me and writing everything down. But wise judgment, wise choices, changing habits that I might have had before that have not really benefited me, but changing them in order to grow. Even at this age, this ripe old age of 56, I still have things to learn. Life is a continual learning, rolling learning system, and I do have things to learn to put me onto paths I want to go. And making the right choices, making the right judgment call, whether it be through choices I make that are going to benefit me personally, through my choice of friends, my social circles, what I choose to listen to and what I choose not to listen to, what I choose to keep to myself or share, whether I choose to be the wise old owl. You know, we have 2 eyes, 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we look and we listen more than we speak. And in doing that, letting people, you know, not listening to foolish or idle gossip. Also, looking out for things that I can change for me, to make me more careful when it comes to who I choose to spend my time with, and more careful as to how I choose to use my days, how I choose to spend my money, how I save or don't I. I'm a terrible person for not saving for a rainy day. Let's look at what bad habits you've had. Let's make a judgment call on this. Should you be doing that or should you be doing this? So I think it's the wiseness of this ancestor that's going to be passed down to me through this activity. What I have chosen to do here is pick out the Knight of Pentacles and the Judgment card from the Tarot of the Abyss, because we now have the ancestor that is working with me, and we have their vibe, their magic that they're bringing with them. So what I want to do is to what I have done is taken those same 2 cards out of the Abyss and seeing how they work together with the original ones that I drew. So here we have our Knight of Pentacles, and this, like the RWS, is a knight with his horse, only he is not static either. He's walking across his land, he's surveying what he's got. He's also got a key hanging around his neck, if you look there. And to me, that is symbolic of having the key of knowledge, having that key to unlock a problem or an issue, being able to solve something that you might need help with. So this is sort of adding to the fact that this is somebody who wants, you know, they're determined to get to the crux of an issue, determined to share their information on how to solve an issue. As we read, that the knight does have this air about him that once he knows about a topic, learns about a topic, learns how to solve an issue, then there's no stopping him. And that's what's happening here with this. Sorry, my phone should be on silence, do apologise. And that's what we've got here. And this one here, although this one is flying around surveying what's going on and how can we help and what can we do, I feel that was given to me symbolically, as in, this is my personality, but that is indicating you, because those I want to work with you, that's you, and we're going to work together. And this is himself or herself working with me, being, maybe, you know, there are times that I need slowing down a little bit, so this one's walking at a steadier pace and is actually saying, right, we've got this together, we will find out the route to go. And we had the Judgment in the Tarot of the Abyss. The Judgment card is called the Awakening. And what I have actually looked at here, again, we've got the dolphin. It gives you a sense of freedom. It's sort of freeing you from things that have held you back in the past, making a decision. We've got the white here, you know, like, okay, usually we see spirits coming up from the graves, but here this is like rising fresh and clean, turning over a new page and starting something that's going to be better for you. We've got the symbolism in the growth, the green foliage here, which is growth, prosperity, and the brown, which is getting rid of the negativity and what no longer serves us. We have a little temple over here, which is, again, our spirituality and not being afraid to draw on our spirituality, which we're doing, working with our ancestors, to ask for help. We've got the sun bursting through the grey skies, cleansing waters, and just that feeling of freedom. And that is how we want to end up. We've got this, the awakening, which is waking our eyes to what no longer is good for us, what we need to change in order to be successful in our quests. And here, when we're feeling that lowness, that we just can't get up, or that things have got us down, don't be afraid to stop. Take a look at what there is. What is it that's being negative, and pulling out that negativity and basically lifting you up. And I do feel that this is what this ancestor is going to do. Will have the ability to use their knowledge, their key of knowledge, their slow and steady pace, to maybe slow me down just that little bit, that we work together, the two combined together will be very much compatible, and that this is how I could potentially end up feeling, because this, when things do get on top of me and I worry about this, that or the other, there's going to be the knowledge, understanding, and the help and guidance and listening to my intuition will be the key to lifting me out of the doldrums and giving me that feeling of freedom. And it's funny, again, here we are, it's water, it's the sea with this one, and that's another one of my passion, is swimming in the open sea and being free to do so. And that this is, we're sort of, it's as though both of these cards, right, are working together with both of these cards to lift me up from, possibly concerned about certain issues, to having that sense of freedom. I think that personality wise, with an ancestor coming through, that we both have that knight-like personality. Yes, I'm an adult, and yes, it should be a king or queen or whatever, but I do have that excitable immaturity about me, and I do feel that if you lose that magic of seeing things with excitement, with newness, almost through the eyes of a child or a much younger person, you lose that magic in life. Things become staid, things become boring. But I do feel that we have this personality trait that's going to we're going to work in tandem and work well together. And likewise here, maybe me being the one that wants to dive in and do everything and change things hurriedly. Think about it, listen. What do you know? What do you need to know to solve that issue, to unlock that door that's going to be the solution to the quest that we're on, our path that we are taking, and the help that I've asked for. So I just sort of add that in there, that I thought, I wonder, busy writing, I thought, I wonder what the Tarot of the Abyss will add to the Universal Celtic Tarot to help me on this route and to give me that little bit more information. Okay, so now we have, now I have picked out the ancestor that's going to work with me. I've asked for help. I now put all the cards back together, the majors, the minors, and the courts, with the exception of the court card I drew out. I'm putting that court card in a position that will be considered position 2 in a 5-card spread. And I will just explain to you what I'm doing here is asking the ancestor what other magic does he have that can help me, and a couple of other questions there that I'll read to you as we go on. But this has to be drawn from the entire deck. So we're putting them back together. Now remember, we had separated them into majors, minors and courts. So we really do need to ensure that these are shuffled properly in order to pick out cards fairly. Now, to pick out four cards, yep, 4 other cards. Position 1. Position 3. Position 4, position 5. Okay, so we're talking to our ancestor now, who is our Knight of Pentacles, and we're asking here, that, you know, this ancestor might have had one more ability, you know, or one or more abilities when they were alive. So already we've discovered judgment was one of them, making good judgment or bad judgments. We will find out, did they make mistakes that we're going to learn from, or were they good at what they did and they're going to give us those skills and talents or those abilities to go back into our own mind and pick out areas where we think, oh, I didn't think of that, it's helped me look at a solution that hadn't crossed my mind before. That's listening to our intuition. Okay, what was one of your magical skills? Okay, so besides the judgment, what else was there? We've got the Two of Wands, and that really fits in quite well, because if we're looking at judgment, one of the skills we were looking at previously, at the initial skill, they were also able to balance, you know, balance things, have a good hand or hold over being able to enjoy work and play, balancing work and play, balancing their accounts, balancing their life, balancing their relationships, that sort of thing, leaving their life in an equal balance in order that things flowed smoothly. And very much I feel like it's a Libran trait, you know, being able to find a balance between harmony and disharmony, between positive and negative. Cut out the negativity, find a balance. What do you do to regain that balance if something is off? So let's look what we have here. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. There's creativity there. Okay, it's the straw man, but what the heck, it's all about balance. Okay, now, so that's the ancestor we've already drawn. That's card number 2. And because that sort of set behind this one, because we're looking at their past, aren't we? You know, what did they do when they were here on this earth? So cards 3, 4 and 5, what can you teach me about your magic? Let's have a look. Card 3, card 4 and card 5. Okay, right, this is interesting. Card 3, we've asked what can they teach us about their magic. Look at that 5 of Cups. This 5 of Cups is very different to our usual 5 of Cups, where we see 2 cups standing and 3 falling. This is almost like the 8 of Cups, isn't it, where someone's walking away. But this person's looking back and not necessarily looking at what they've lost, but what they actually have behind them, the support. This fits in well because we're looking at this ancestor's past. What did they have? They had the ability to be able to turn their back on what was gone and look forward, move forward, to turn their back and count their blessings, that not all was negative, that they had that ability to look for the positive, look for the light, rather than look at any spilled goods. Okay, we've got things on a step here, and this one's going down, sinking down, but that, you know, rather than letting things get them down, it's turning around and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, it's not like the 8 of Cups where you're walking away to something new and that no longer serves you. You're counting your blessings and you're saying, well, actually, you know, it's not all downhill. Looking back, saying it's an uphill climb, it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but we'll get there, because that's where we'll be successful. And this is how they this would have been the magic they had, the ability they had to be able to say onwards and upwards. Let's not sort of cut off our noses to spite our face. We've the Ace of Swords. So what magic is the Ace of Swords? The Ace of Swords is being successful at a battle. Look at the light rays shining down. That's a little bit like King Arthur, isn't it? And pulling the stone out of the what the heck was it called? I can't remember. My mind's gone blank. It happens with age. But look at this. It's being successful after a battle, after a struggle. It's being successful and recognising that successfulness and using that successfulness for your own higher good and the higher the good of those around you, you know, not you're sort of protecting yours and those around you. What was the other magic? What other magic did this person have? Well, this is probably a card that we're having to learn from them, is don't carry, you know, all the problems on your back. Don't let people get you down. Don't let situations get you down. It's very easy to allow that to happen. That might be what this person had done, but they learned to get back up. If you look here, they're not prone on the ground with the sword standing out of their back. They're weary. They're weary, and they're taking shelter behind this rock. But they haven't allowed those swords to keep them prone on the ground, you know, in the hope that they rise, to, you know, on a new day much lighter. They've actually pulled the swords out of their back and let them loose, almost a little bit like the Eight of Swords, where they're confused. But there's no confusion here. There's weariness, there's tiredness, there's been a fight. But look, they overcame that fight. And that's through strength and determination, and recognising that, you know, it's not a downward staircase, but an uphill battle to get to the light, to get to the solution of whatever the problem is. And, you know, they're doing that with gaining the knowledge they need in order to go off and become the solution to an issue. Okay, to find the solution to an issue. And this is here. Don't let anything get you down. It can wear you down, and that's when it can take a toll on you, on your health, and on your view to see how you see life, and on your acceptance to look at the positive as opposed to the negative. So what you have to do is say, right, hold on a sec, this is another issue, this is a problem, but we are going to face it, and we're going to beat it, and we're going to look to the light, the positivity of all this. And I just find that that really is quite fitting to some of the sort of, what's the word I was looking for? Just bear with me, I'll find the word. Why have I suddenly gone blank and my language seems to have got intention, our intention. How could I not think of the word intention? So that's a little spread here before we head into chapter 2, and there we go. Okay, that's the little spread here, and it's just giving us that extra confidence, and the fact that we can read this, that and it does relate to what, you know, what we have asked for help with, the intentions, and it fits in quite amazingly well. I'm just going to pick out the same cards from the Tarot of the Abyss. So if we look here and how these support the cards, what they can add to this, because I'm choosing to use the 2 decks, what can these add to this? So we have our Knight of Pentacles. This is our 2 of Wands here, okay? So whereas this one is looking into the distance, what can we do? This is, you know, what was there other magic? It's being able to see the potential of growth and of change, okay? It's being able to see the potential in excuse me, in creating more positivity and sorting things out. Here, that's more of a balance. The 2, you know, we have our 2 of Wands here, but we're looking at balance. And the 2s in general are balance, having that sort of equal sort of playing something. And this one's making her craft, her dolls. There's a bit of witchcraft involved there, I think. So it was, you know, there was a looking at creative ways in which to solve an issue, looking at the possibilities of what's to come. Here with our 5 of Cups, yeah, this one's far more positive, looking back over the shoulder and recognizing that there is more, you know, that they're not to cry over spilt milk as this one is doing, and to be far more positive about things that might not be going your way, but that there is a solution to each problem. the Ace of Swords, or though we said here about battles being won, etc., it's also growth. Look at that, the battle being won, but new growth come from it. I love that the tree is you know, depicting new growth, flight. Look at this, it's absolutely beautiful. Look, home, family, and protection of everything that's yours. And that's another thing that what I feel is very good in this, that is that as though I'm being protected, that my ancestor has the magic and the ability, and what they're going to teach me with their magic is that they're there to help and protect me. All I have to do is ask. And the Ten of Swords, what I like about this Ten of Swords is we've got here, you know, don't let things get you down. Look at your inner knowledge. You know, you can let those arrows or swords keep you down, but you've got inner knowledge, you've got understanding that can remove each one of those, and it's just sheer determination and looking at what you've got around you to help you, and not being able to be, and not being afraid to ask for help and guidance along the way. So that is a huge amount of information using the two decks and taking out, because I chose the Universal Celtic Tarot initially as the first deck, that's why I'm drawing my cards initially from there, and then getting the cards from the second deck, the Tarot of the Abyss, to underpin those cards and give me that little bit more through the imagery to feed my intuition and feed my understanding, and seeing how they actually do balance each other out. So that's our first one. We have our ancestor and we have the ancestor's magic. And then from here on in, we're going to get on and do more ancestor work. But that will be on the next video. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next one. Bye now.